Welcome back to my playthrough of NHL 22 Be a Pro. I'm GJH and this is episode 2. On episode 1, we saw Bruce Gray win the Memo Cup. We met GM Manhands of the Buffalo Sabres, got drafted first overall by the Sabres, and then Bruce Gray was walking like he had a pickle up his ass while checking out the Sabres dressing room for the first time. Now we're ready for preseason, but before that starts, Bruce is going to have to give some star answers to the media. Really, though, I think all this interview shit slows down the game, and I mentioned that in episode 1. It's kind of a joke at this point. Anyways, GM Manhands, the GM of the Buffalo Sabres, wants to have a word with me, but look closely at her name. I'm Madison Neal, GM of Buffalo, in case you forgot. In episode 1, she said her name was Carmela Longier, or however the fuck you pronounce that. And no, EA, I did not forget her name. If anything, you forgot her name. And this is just another example of the lack of attention that EA gives to the NHL franchise. I could write a book about EA's trash, or I can give GM Manhands some star answers. Alright, and Taylor the agent wants to speak too, and I'm just going to speed through this because I really can't stand this. But it looks like I got another point for the skill tree, so I'm going to use it on the marksman here just to improve that shot, getting ready for game 1 of the preseason. And of course, the media wants a word with Bruce Gray, and I'm going to give them some star answers, of course. And that's mostly what I like to give, just because of Bruce Gray. I already mentioned in episode 1, he's a stud, but for this, there's a storyline. But I'm going to go with the storyline as it just helps out with the brand likability. But before I start game 1, I gotta have a couple of beers. It's episode 2, which means I have to have 2 beers. It's the only way I'm gonna survive NHL 22. And game 1 is against the Detroit Red Wings, so we'll pick it up right here in the first period. Bruce Gray's first shift, and really not a whole lot happening on this first shift, so that's why I kind of speed through it here. But on the second shift, let's see, Bruce Gray gets almost knocked off the puck, brings around behind the net, does a little bit of a dipsy doodle in front of the net, boom! Blocker side gets his first goal of the preseason. And then we'll pick things up in the second period as Bruce Gray fights for the puck a bit in the corner, grabs it, passes out, gets his first assist of the preseason. Third period of action. Big hit against Buffalo, and someone needs to answer for that. Bruce stepping up, but fuck it, he's gonna just go grab this guy and fight him instead. Later on in the third, Bruce behind the net gets just a sneaky goal. Coach wants a word, and of course, you know what Bruce is going to do. He's going to give that star answer to Coach. Later on in the third, the goalie is looking like butter on that shot, and a little bit later, another weak goal. Goalie is just pure butter, and Coach is not happy with Bruce after that. But really, it's not his fault. And it looks like I got another point for the skill tree, so this one I'm going to use it for hockey IQ because Bruce needs to smarten up a little bit. Game 2. Against the Florida Panthers. We'll pick it up here in the first period. Bruce gets frustrated with the offside call, slaps it on net. Florida doesn't like it, so Bruce with his first fight here. And, you know, I think after what I learned in the CHL Memo Cup, I wasn't going to take any fight lightly. So really putting in a lot of effort here. And this fight went on for quite a bit, and against a heavyweight, Aaron Ekblad. And Bruce is just not giving up either. I'm actually kind of impressed that it went this long and he actually survived. And this was actually a tough fight, so I'm glad that Bruce got the win. Second period, Bruce going in, left, right, left, goal. 2-1 Sabres. Just another angle of that. And then we'll take it up in the third period. Bruce grabs the puck after his teammates check, drives to the net, passes it over, gets an assist, 3-2 Buffalo, but then later, goalie looking like butter on that play. But then Bruce, slapper, goal. Buzzer beater though? Game is tied 4-4 and Bruce looking to end it here, but goalie makes the stop. And overtime didn't solve anything, so we'll go straight to shootout. And I'm still trying to figure out the shootout style here a little bit, so we'll try a different move here, and goalie stops it. But then the boys get it done. We win 5-4 in the shootout, and Bruce Gray with 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 fight for the Gordie Howe hat trick. Game 3 against the Montreal Canadiens, and this one was kind of a tough match as we'll take it up here in the third period, and Montreal opens up the scoring mid-third, 1-0. 2 minutes later, they get another goal to go up 2-0. And then Bruce can't get anything done, so he's taking his frustration on another heavyweight fighter in Shea Weber. And yeah, after the last fight against Aaron Ekblad, Bruce isn't going to step down here, and he does pretty good. Gets another win in the fight here. Game 4 against the Boston Bruins. Take it up in the second period. Bruce, another fight against Patrice Bergeron, and a couple punches, and he was out cold. Third period of action. Bruce getting it done here as he kind of just slides through and puts it top glove side. His first goal of the game, tied 1-1. As I'm simming through the game here, Boston goes up by 2 goals. Really nothing I can do here, and that's really how it ended, 3-1 Boston. But then I got a point for the skill tree, so I'm going to put it towards the power skating, and we'll jump into Game 5 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've had this one circled for a while. First period of action. Bruce tries to wrap it around, but Olofsson cleans up the garbage and then tacks on his second assist of the game. Pick it up here in the second period where Bruce says, "Bitch, get out of the way." Same shift though, we'll speed it up here a bit. Drives to the net, passes it over. His third assist of the game, 3-1 Buffalo. Bruce then tacks on his fourth assist of the game, followed up by a little bit of a dipsy doodle, then a goal. And then he passes over to Jeff Skinner for his fifth assist of the game. Third period of action. A bit of a give and go play here as Bruce gets his second goal of the game. And with the performance that he's having tonight, coach wants a word just to let him know that, Bruce, you're a fucking stud. Bruce Gray finishes the game with 2 goals, 5 assists in 12 hits. Game 6 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And let's just take a minute here just to look at the X Factor players on Tampa versus Buffalo. And that's not even all their X Factor players. This is going to be a tough match. We'll take it up here in the second period. Buffalo down 4-3, but Bruce finally gets on the score sheet with an assist. And then over to the third period. Bruce being held up behind the net, gets loose though, calls for the pass, and you know he goes top Ched with this one. Game tied 5 goals apiece. Overtime didn't solve anything, so straight to the shootout. I'm still trying to figure out the shootout, so shitty attempt here. And really wish I could have gotten that one in because Tampa ends up winning it 6-5 in the shootout. Disappointing loss in this one. We'll head over to Game 7. This one taking place against Ottawa, and I don't remember it too much, and this is why. In first period of action, Bruce gets leveled in. Fuck, he's injured. So, I don't know. Hopefully he can start the season. I don't think the injury's too serious as he's just holding his knee. Get a bit of a replay here on that one. And the little pop-up here. You've been injured. You can continue to watch or quit to sim the remainder of the game. So, just sim the game quickly here, and we got dummied fucking 7-0. Post-game, coach wants a word. Storyline moment here where I can improve Bruce's brand image or his teammate relationship. I go with the teammates for once. Got to keep the boys happy. Looking ahead at the regular season, the first game is against Montreal, but before anything, GM Manhands gives me a golden opportunity for a chance to be traded from Buffalo. Man, I must have sat here and thought about this for a good solid 5 minutes, but you know, Bruce is a stud and a nice fucking guy at the end of the day. He is sticking around. On the next episode, Bruce regrets not getting traded. Manhands thinks about another name change, and I become an Uber driver. I hope you don't mind the smell. Gary Bemin's in the trunk.